Good day folks, the Pro Audio Journalist here. Please like and subscribe and thank you for your support. The truth behind the Metallica Black album guitar sound. Arguably the best sounding metal record ever made. I would like to start by saying that this video was backed up by interviews with Bob Rock and Randy Staub. The secret to this famous guitar sound was that they actually spent time dialing in the tone. This is not a case of sticking a mic in front of a cab and calling it a day. Bob Rock has commented that it took at least a week to get this guitar tone. It goes without saying that James would have spent considerable hours with his main amp before the recording of this record, playing, recording, touring, etc. He was most likely tweaking and tone chasing over time as he got more and more acquainted with this amp, and the amp was used on previous recordings too. It's safe to say he had a lot of experience dialing in this amp. The key to this tone is that they were tweaking the mic'd up guitar sound based on what they were hearing coming out of the studio's big mains monitor speakers. I imagine they did this at decent volume to feel the low end and make sure the guitar was hitting you in the chest. It's one of the reasons this record sounds so good played loud. If you have some loud speakers, I suggest playing the record loud and focus on the guitar sound, as this is very close to what James was hearing when they were tone chasing. Having the impeccable Bob Rock and Randy Staub's expertise in dialing in this tone was evidently beneficial. In an interview on the Tone Talk podcast with Dave Friedman, Bob Rock disclosed that a Jose modded Marshall was blended with James's Mesa Boogie to add bite to the mid-range. Each amp was mic'd up using an SM57 and a Sennheiser 421, both on different speakers. Bob remarked that both mics were approximately equal volume in the blend. A Neve preamp was used for all mics. Although they were making advances in achieving the tone, James was claiming there was some crunch missing. They literally built a room around the guitar cabs. Bob experimented with the U87 room mic that ended up being positioned closer to the cab and was providing a 300 to 400 Hz bump that gave James the crunch he was looking for. There you go kids, don't scoop the low mids of your guitars. From what I can tell from the now available multi-tracks, the famous SSL E-Series high shelf was used to add brightness to this tone. This famous high shelf seems to add brightness without altering the mid-range character. For the clean sounds on this record, Bob gave away the secrets in an interview with Andrew Sheps. A Roland JC120 was used. It had been modded with higher headroom EV speakers. It is said to make the amp more chimey. This was blended with a DI running through the chorus of an AMS delay unit. For Jason on bass, they experimented with every rig available, resorting to hiring gear to audition. They ended up with a precision bass and an SVT. They built a foam wall around Jason's amps to cut down on the high-end pick attack. There's also a bit of a secret regarding this guitar tone in the choice of mix bus processing. Basically, the SSL console had multiple buses. The drums and bass were compressed together using the famous SSL bus compressor and sent to bus A. James's guitars were sent to bus B with no compression at all. James didn't like the sound of his guitars being compressed with the other elements when using the SSL compressor. There was a benefit to this scenario. James's guitars were so big that it was a task to fit the other elements of the mix into the stereo field. Compressing the bass and drums together made them tighter and better being able to fit with the monstrous guitars. From interviews I've gathered, I believe the compressor for the drums and bass was set to 4:1 ratio, 30 millisecond attack and the fastest release. You can hear that it lets the snare transient through as well as some of the initial bass note. Really classy processing. If anyone else has more information, please let us know in the comments. I'd love to do a part 2 version of this video, including other gear and decisions they made whilst making this record. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for the support. Give me a thumbs up if you'd like to see a part 2 to this video. I'm the Pro Audio Journalist. I'll see you in the next one.